The movie starts with a story of a happy kingdom where the king and queen are very merciful. They had everything but no child, for whom they always prayed. Then, on a beautiful winter night, their wish was fulfilled. A beautiful princess was born in their house. They named her Snow White. As Snow White grew up, the queen and king taught her that, no doubt we rule here, but actually, this kingdom belongs to those who work for it. You will also have to rule it one day, but we know that you will do this work with truthfulness and mercy. Everything was going very well, but one day, the queen died of an illness, and these people were left alone. Some time later, a beautiful woman came to this palace. The king fell in love with her beauty, and soon the king married her. She became a queen, but her beauty was more important to her than this kingdom and the king. She also had a magical mirror that only spoke the truth. This evil queen always asked her, "Tell me, who is the most beautiful in this world?" When it used to take the name of that queen, she used to be extremely happy. One day, through this mirror, she came to know that their kingdom was going to be attacked. For this war, the king left with his army, but after that day, the king never came back. And so, the rule and harshness of this evil queen continued to increase. Snow White's status was reduced to that of a maid. Years passed, and people also forgot that there was a princess named Snow White. Because of the strictness of the evil queen, evil started spreading in the kingdom, and starvation also spread. One day, when Snow White was busy cleaning the castle, a boy named Jonathan came in. He had come to steal the things. Snow White told him that stealing is a bad practice. You can also take this food with the permission of the queen. You should talk to the queen or princess to find a solution to these problems. Jonathan laughed and said, "Which princess? I don't think she is even alive." Snow White was saddened to hear this sentence for herself. Snow White said to him that the princess is still alive, and she wants to help her nation. Jonathan said that she has not done anything yet. Saying this, he left, stealing the potatoes. His words were instilled in Snow White's mind. She also thought that she should do something for her people. She thought of talking to the queen. She told the evil queen that you should take care of everyone. You should give your wealth to people so that their problems may resolve. I remember that Dad taught me all this. Every year on a special occasion, we all used to make apple pies and distribute them among people. Hearing her, the evil queen said that these insects are not worthy of such great food. In the meantime, the soldier caught Jonathan and brought him before the evil queen. The queen punished him by burning his house in return for his theft. But Jonathan said that he didn't have a house. He was actually the leader of thieves. And before that, he and his companions used to work for the king. After hearing this, the queen said, "Then throw him in the cellar so violently that the whole palace may echo with his scream." Snow White said, "You can't do this. Dad never punished too much so that the other person would not rebel." Snow White's words made the evil queen even angrier. And she made Jonathan stand outside the palace without clothes in the freezing cold. Now the evil queen spoke harshly to Snow White. And Snow White started singing a song after being sad. In this song, she was also remembering her parents. And she was asking for all the wishes that she wanted to do for her people. After this, she came to Jonathan and freed him. The soldiers had seen her, and she had to run away before being caught. On the other hand, the evil queen was sitting beside her magic mirror again. This time, she asked the same question again, "Speak out, mirror. Who is the most beautiful in this world?" The mirror replied, "Now you are not the most beautiful. Now someone else has come to this world who is most beautiful, and she is Snow White." The queen got very angry after hearing this. She got jealous. She called her most loyal hitman and ordered him to kill Snow White and give me her heart in this box. The hitman did not want to carry out this order because Snow White seemed innocent to him. But the queen told him, "You don't know. Behind an innocent face, she is a witch. She reveals the news of our kingdom to another kingdom, accompanying robbers." We see that Snow White had gone to the jungle to pluck apples. The hitman followed her, but he could not kill Snow White. He finally told Snow White that the evil queen had very dangerous intentions for her. She wants to kill her before her life is in danger. It is better that she runs away from this kingdom. He also told her that the queen also knows something about your dad, but she is keeping it secret. Hearing this from the hitman, Snow White started fearing. And she started running in the deep jungle. These paths were full of dangers. Moment by moment, she confronted new creatures and animals which were very life-threatening. Finally, she found a dangerous tree which tried to trap her with its roots. Before that tree could harm her, the ground opened from below, and Snow White fell into it. This was a different world. Very beautiful. All the small animals here seemed merciful. They brought Snow White to a small house. Snow White saw that everything in the house was very small. And there were 7 small beds here. Scared and tired, Snow White slept on those 7 beds. And these animals covered her with a blanket. Here in this world, we now see 7 dwarfs. All these were happily returning to their homes after working. These 7 worked in diamond mines. From there, they used to extract diamonds and gems. Now, as soon as they came to their home, they were surprised seeing Snow White at their home. Seeing Snow White, all of them got scared and started running here and there. And just a small dwarf kept standing here. Before he also ran away, Snow White walked slowly to him and introduced herself. Before she told him more about herself, all the other dwarfs came here with their weapons to kill her. She felt that these dwarfs did not want to keep her at home. That's why she started leaving. While the dwarfs were very surprised to see a human for the first time, before leaving, she thought, if I leave from here, where will I go? That's why she decided to tell everything to the dwarfs and said, my name is Snow White. The evil queen wanted to kill me. That's why I ran into the jungle. And then I got here. Hearing her story, all these dwarfs felt very bad. And now they introduced themselves to Snow White. One by one, they told their names to Snow White. And they also told that they work in the mines of the diamonds. Seeing them, Snow White said to them, I understood today why my dad used to say that the jungle is a magical place. Maybe because of this area. On the other hand, now we are shown the evil queen. Through her mirror, it is known that Snow White is still alive. As soon as she opened the hitman's jewelry box, there was an apple in it. She got very angry at the hitman's betrayal. She screamed in a strange way, the one who betrayed me will not be spared. Along with her soldiers, she had called the hitman here. She hit the hitman mercilessly. The hitman knew and he accepted his death. But before dying, he told the evil queen that if even a little mercy is in her heart, then she should spare Snow White. The queen did not listen to him. She also ordered to throw the hitman in the cellar. And ordered her soldiers to bring Snow White from the jungle after searching for her. While Snow White is shown here, she was with the dwarfs. Today, her morning was very different from the other mornings. These dwarfs were fighting like every day and were making fun of a small dwarf. As he was being sad, he went out. And Snow White felt it. Good Snow White explained to her, look, being sad is not the solution to problems. We want to face everything bravely. She also taught him to whistle. And in a little while, his mood improved. When these people went back home, everything was scattered. All these dwarfs were shouting, who will work? Who will work? That's why they were fighting. So Snow White said, all these tasks, which they think are burdens, if they all do them together, then these tasks will also be fun. Snow White also noticed here that all these people's anger, actually they don't hate each other, they just can't explain to each other. Snow White explained to them how to talk to each other and find a solution to all the problems. And like this, in the life of these dwarfs, a big change happened. They sang and worked together. And they stayed happy. Snow White also told them her childhood stories here. When her kingdom was full of love, her both father and mother were alive. She remembered while talking that the hitman had told her the evil queen had hidden some secret about her father. They all were believing that the king died in war. Perhaps he is alive. Snow White said to dwarfs that, we can search for him with the help of robbers in the forest. They had told that they used to serve the king before. Now this was the duty time of dwarfs, so they also left. And Snow White also left in search of the robbers. She was wandering in the forest to and fro. Suddenly, someone pulled her behind the tree. He was Jonathan, who saved her life from those soldiers who were sent to catch her by the evil queen. Snow White told Jonathan here, I think the king is still alive. Jonathan said to her, it may be true. Because I heard too, the kingdom with which the king went to war, the king has been captured there. But I don't know where is he. They were talking at the moment. Jonathan's other companions also arrived here, who met Snow White with honor. Before this, they were able to plan in order to search for the king. Many soldiers appeared here. They had caught sight of Snow White. Jonathan and all his companions decided to rescue Snow White without any hesitation. They all came ahead to fight with the royal soldiers. And they asked Snow White to escape from there. But royal soldiers were in large number while robbers were in few numbers. So Snow White started feeling upset for them. So Snow White hit upon a plan, and she untied all the horses of royal soldiers, going there. So the commotion created among them. And those robbers got some time to escape. After this, Snow White shouted loudly, climbing up a high mountain. Due to this, all soldiers' attention diverted to Snow White. When soldiers moved to the high mountain, then they noticed that there was no Snow White, but a trap. Now Snow White had also accompanied the robbers. They reached the thick forest while running. At last, they got rid of the soldiers. Jonathan admired the bravery of Snow White, coming here. And he assured her, "We will always be loyal with the king. Because we were so comfortable in everything in his time." A soldier came to their hidden place where they were talking. Seeing Snow White, he pointed the arrow towards her. Jonathan saw him before he attacked. Moving Snow White aside, he got shot by the arrow while saving Snow White. Jonathan's other companions captured that soldier. And Snow White decided that she will take Jonathan to the dwarfs. Because one of the dwarfs' name was Doc. He might be a doctor. But it is known, going to Doc, he was not a doctor, but only his name was Doc. His skill was to extract rocks and minerals. Knowing this, Jonathan's companion began to infuriate at him, and the argument started among them. Interrupting their argument, Snow White said, "What are all of you doing? It is the aim of the evil queen to create conflicts among us. And we may part, and we may not believe in one another as being selfish. Even it is not as such. All problems will resolve if we help one another." Everyone silenced for a time here after listening to the words of Snow White. After this, Doc said, "I am not a doctor in reality, but I will do my best to save the life of Jonathan." Doc moved inside his house, taking Jonathan. After a great time, when he came out, there was sadness on his face. All were glancing at him with curious eyes. Jonathan appeared from the backside before he spoke a single word. All took a sigh of comfort seeing him. But Jonathan had lost much of his strength right now. Now they all began to celebrate this happiness. Jonathan and Snow White came close to each other while celebrating and singing songs. Before they approached each other, they got the realization of standing among many people. Jonathan and his companions decided before the sun rose that they would move in the forest early in the morning, so this secret place remained its secrecy, and Snow White may be safe here. Jonathan said before departing, "Today, I am going for 2 days now. I will not be able to return back for this time period. But I promise that we will go to the kingdom in search of the king as I return." Snow White handed over her chain here, which had been gifted to her by her dad. She told him that it will remind you to return back. He was caught in a trap when he headed to the forest. Before he could understand anything, the evil queen's soldiers brought him to the palace. The queen asked him on his arrival, "Where is Snow White?" He tried his best to pretend by saying, "I don't know who is Snow White." But the chain around his neck exposed the reality. Pulling this chain, she made Jonathan thrown into the basement. And she herself started making magic with a magical potion. And this evil queen's real face was revealed here. In fact, she was a witch. After this, she drank that magical potion and her condition began to worsen. And she turned into an old witch. It was her real appearance. She had transformed herself into a beautiful lady through magic. After this, she held an apple and began to read the spell of poison and magic. In simple words, she cast a spell on the apple, so that profound sleep may wrap Snow White as she eats this. It was shown here to us that Jonathan was trying to free himself from this cellar. He also found the hitman here. Then Snow White was shown to us after shifting the scene. After this, all dwarfs had gone to their work. She wanted to leave in search of her dad, but an old lady appeared here at the moment. Snow White could not recognize her. This old woman, who was actually a witch, told Snow White while giving her a locket that Jonathan is in great trouble. Seeing her locket, Snow White sensed that she should save the life of Jonathan. She was about to leave from here, but the old lady stopped her. She offered her an apple and asked her to eat this. "You will maintain your energy with this. As your dad quoted, 'Love conquers all.'" Hearing the touchy words of her dad, she became the victim of the witch's trap. And she ate that apple. We saw here that all the animals and birds of the dwarfs ran quickly to inform the dwarfs about the trouble of Snow White. The darkness began to appear in front of Snow White's eyes as she ate that apple. She started to feel dizziness. She asked, "What was in this?" The evil witch spoke the same words here which were used to be uttered by that evil queen. As a result, Snow White came to know that she was that evil queen, who used to consider Snow White her bitter enemy. Now Snow White went into profound sleep. The dark storm clouds spread over this kingdom. And that evil witch disappeared from here, turning into smoke. And when all dwarfs and animals came back to Snow White, in a state of sadness they found Snow White lying down. They thought Snow White was no more. They could not do anything but make her lie down at a place and cover her with flowers. It was shown in the cellar of the palace that the hitman and Jonathan had broken the wall of that place. On the opposite side of this wall, there was a way of water leading to the forest. The hitman encouraged Jonathan, who ran to the forest immediately. He observed there some animals. He became aware from the chaos of them that something had surely gone wrong. As he reached near the house of dwarfs, he became distressed seeing dead Snow White. He sat near Snow White mournfully and kissed Snow White. Snow White came into consciousness as he kissed her, and joy filled everyone. Coming into senses, she told Jonathan that it is all happening because of the evil queen. She is actually a witch. She is the one who had sent my dad to war after planning this. And she herself ended the king, commanding her own men. They were discussing all of this right now, when a single snowflake fell on Snow White's hand. Seeing this, Snow White decided that the time had come when she would have to take control of everything. And she would have to save her kingdom from the evil queen after fighting her. Now she would have to give the services of that queen to her nation which they deserve, who may spread love there and turn their circumstances to betterment. As Snow White returned to her kingdom, a glimmer of hope appeared on the faces of her kingdom's people. And all reached in front of the palace, chasing Snow White. The evil queen herself came to them down, noticing the rebellious attitude of the people and Snow White. She held a rose in one hand and a sword in the other. And she addressed the people, "Look, only beauty and power are made for the throne." Then she burned the rose, blowing on it, and said, "Look, only power has left to rule the throne." She provoked Snow White to fight. But Snow White began reminding the soldiers of their good memories instead of fighting, when they used to be kind-hearted in the times of the king. They used to care for one another. And their lives were comfortable. Snow White said to them, "It is only a short while away when there was peace in the kingdom. Everyone was joyful. Justice was for everyone. I am only wanting to restore this for this kingdom." Disarming themselves, the evil queen's soldiers showed that they would stand by Snow White. Observing this, that all her power was being lost, she started to attack Snow White, but someone threw his knife at her hand while shooting his arrow. And it was seen that he was a dwarf who had saved Snow White's life. Now all dwarfs approached here who had taken steps to help Snow White and the people. Now the evil queen moved inside the palace in rage, where her magical mirror was placed. The magical mirror was observing everything. The evil queen again talked with the mirror and asked it, "Speak, mirror, who is the most beautiful in this world?" The mirror spoke, "The most beautiful in this world is Snow White, and she will remain. Her beauty is not in her appearance, but in her heart. She will rule the hearts of the people because of her kind-heartedness and justice." It said to the queen, "Your beauty never touched your heart. Your outer beauty cannot do anything." She broke this mirror in fury, hurling something at it. The mirror was broken into countless fragments, and the body of the evil queen was also shattered. Turning into black smoke, her body transferred into that magical mirror. And the evil queen was captured in this magical mirror for a lifetime. And we know through this, all powers of this evil queen were dependent on this magical mirror. Snow White held her throne after the end of the evil queen. Joy spread throughout this kingdom with the reign of Snow White. This captivating story ends here with it.